All right, so there's only 19 capsules left. If anyone wants them, pick them up now because it's going to get restocked. And I'll tell you, if... Sounds great. All right, Stella. Have a great night. Sleep well, and I'll get a message over to you. It's going to get restocked back up to 50, whether I have the 19 left or whether I go down to 0. Good morning to Syart, and let's delve into our second Soulknife character. Stella, before you go, if you're still here, can you please type exclamation point 1D100 into chat? And that way you can leave your mark on this second character that we're building. We might have lost Stella. That's fine, though. He said he was going to bed, so... All right, Grainwald. Grainwald, can you please type exclamation point 1D100 in chat? And let us know, do we have a female character or a male character or a multi-class character? Stops on an 88. Oh, we're so close to multi-class. All right. We have a male character. And now let's find out which race our character is. We're going to have multi-class, like a forced multi-class on Saturday, unless we do it naturally before then. Coffee Cat, will you roll a D10 in chat? And you know what, Shukan? Maybe in future workshop sessions, we can do something along those lines. Stops on a 1, a Dragonborn. Dragonborn. Well, goodness. Now we got to decide through a dice roll which kind of Dragonborn we have. Shukan, will you please roll a D12 in chat? Syart, I'll call on you for a roll here. I appreciate it, don't get me wrong. But sometimes there's delays or something, and I don't want to give away Shukan's roll without calling on it. Because what happens also, when you roll a D12 and not Shukan, that resets a global cooldown, which meant that if Shukan typed 1d12 as you did, you would have shut Shukan out from rolling. And that roll would have counted against Shukan for the personal cooldown on the command as well. However, Shukan might have stepped away. And so, Corrupted Devils, will you please roll a d12 in chat? Exclamation point 1d12, please. We rolled an 8. 8 is other. 8 is other. So there are other kinds of, Corrupted Devils. Do we have a Shadow Dragonborn? Do we have a Cobalt or a Purple Dragonborn? Do we have a Gem Dragonborn? So I'll tell you what, Corrupted Devils, you rolled 8, so we have something that's outside the traditional 10 types of Dragonborn. Do you have a particular other kind of dragon that you would like to see represented? I'm not sure what gravity would be represented as. Well, like, is it a force damage breath? What supplement is that in? There's shadow dragons, which are kind of wispy and dark, and they have necrotic breath, but if you want to reflavor it as something else. A kobold press dragon. Okay, well, so how are they representing gravity breath? Okay, so it actually doesn't deal damage. Then we'll say that it's we'll make it a force breath then. All right, so we have a male void dragonborn. They are medium-sized. We are making a rogue Soulknife, level 18. And now it's time to figure out our alignment. Syart, can you please type exclamation point 1D100? $54. That we have a neutral character. True neutral. We already know our level. However, to determine, are we going to replace any of our ASIs with feats, let's randomly roll it. Kevin, will you please type exclamation point 1D100 in chat and determine if we're going to get any feats on this character? Stops on an 11. We're all natural. We're going to take the stat bumps. All right. Now for our background. To help us determine which background our character has. Pouty Lips, are you still here? Can you type exclamation point 1D20 into chat, Pouty Lips? Pouty Lips may not be with us. Rest well, Pouty Lips. We barely knew thee. If there's anyone else in chat I haven't called on, you can speak up and I'll call on you. But to keep things moving, let's go to Coffee Cat. Can you roll a D20 in chat to determine our background, please? $15, a sailor. He is a sailor. All right. Now, for our class, we already know our class and our subclass. Hey, Tesla, there you are. I was waiting for you. Hey, Chaotic Blue. You're lurking and eating. All right, well, hey, if you're willing to type in a prompt, I'll call on you for a dice roll. That was my computer interrupting the broadcast with a notification that's redundant. And Van is here also. Very good. All right, we need to determine... We have a Dragonborn here. I don't know. It's just any Dragonborn should be fine. We need to determine how old is our sailing Soulknife Void Dragonborn. Tesla, will you please type exclamation point 1D100? Come on. Why are you staggering notifications? 95. Oh, almost ancient. We have a venerable. We have a venerable Dragonborn. Who's 67 plus 1D13. 1D13 years. And you know what? Corrupted Devils, of all the things, we actually have a 13-sided die. Will you please type exclamation point? Well, actually, hang on. Devils, I still have 2 other people here who haven't rolled yet, so hold on to that. Chaotic Blue. Will you please type exclamation point 1D13? And Vanson, you'll get the next roll. 9. All right. 76 years old. You're very welcome, Chaotic Blue. I gotta get you ready for today, for Friday the 13th. Come on. It is. It is. Friday the 13th. And so now we need a Van. Okay. So, Van, I would like you to type exclamation point 4D6. The first 3 numbers are going to be the ideal, the bond, and the flaw of this character. Of this character in the background. Van might have stepped away. All right, let's come back around. Corrupted Devils, will you please type exclamation point 4D6? Five, 3, and 4. Excellent. All right, Grainwald, can you give me a D8 roll, please? Exclamation point 1D8 for a personality trait. And while you do that, I'm going to open up my dice roller to take care of the physical stats quickly. Stops on a 3. Okay, so that's his first personality trait. And then, Kevin, can you also roll a D8 in chat for me, please? Our height modifier is going to be 2D8. I rolled a 13, so he is 6'7". And then we're going to take that number, 13, and we're going to multiply it by 2D6. By 7. So we're adding 91 pounds. So this is going to be 266. 266 at 6'7". And he's 76 years old. Kevin gave us personality trait number 2. Okay. No, you do not have to, Greenwald. Beefy boy, this rogue. Yes, Corrupted Devils. Now, there is going to be one last roll. As a sailor, you get a lucky charm of some kind. And we should roll this as a trinket. Oh no, I hope your computer's okay. Well, Van, tell you what, Van, you can be our lucky charm. Can you roll a percentile in chat and let us know what is bringing luck to our old sailor? And you know what? If this is anything like our other psionics, this could actually be the catalyst or the focus for his psychic power. So when you have the chance, exclamation point 1D100. Stops on a 47. Oh, Daly! Daly, you scoundrel. We come to the end of dice rolling, and then you say goodbye. Like, I couldn't have called on you for a dice roll. Daly, what are you doing? Have a great night, Daly. Oh, did I do that? Well, enjoy your suspenders and cheese, Daly. Be well, my friend. Ice Blizzard, you're taking off as well. Ice Blizzard, thank you for joining us. I hope that you've enjoyed watching our character creation process. And, hey, we're going to be making psionic wizards tomorrow. Psionic wizards. All right, now, we've pulled the constellation, right? We've pulled the outline from the mists of infinite creation. And this is the beginning of our character. Now it's time to make him into a silhouette. More a 3D silhouette, even. And then we're going to continue to paint details and understand the nature of the character. And to do that, class, do you have your player's handbook open? Now, why did you come to this workshop unprepared? We're going to go to Chapter 4 and take a look at the sailor. I love starting with the background of the character. It's going to let us get to know who he is. How does he make decisions? What's his lifestyle? Chaotic Blue. I saw that. I'll be that anime teacher who has a marksman's badge in throwing a piece of chalk. We get athletics and perception as our skill proficiencies. Navigator's tools and vehicles water. In the party of in our party of psychics, we have land vehicle operators, water vehicle operators. We have kids. We have a middle-aged tiefling, and then we have an elderly dragonborn. Hark! You arrived right after we finished the dice rolls for character number 2. Hey, Kitty Bird tosses a handful of glitter and sits down in a box. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we're going to get some stuff. We're going to get a belaying pin, which is a club that you can equip. 50 feet of silk rope. What I wanted to worry about was we get a lucky charm, something that's kept us alive. Clearly, this charm has kept us alive all these years on the waves. Especially, we might be considered an omen of ill luck, being a void dragonborn since we got other on the racial list. Yeah, was Critical Role end on a cliffhanger? Did they resolve stuff? Awesome combat? Was it a real tearjerker? And it was rolled that number 47. I don't know what that is, but we're going to go back to it. Did we look at the... You know what? Did we look at the trinket? Did we? Yeah, we looked at number 50 for our soldier. Or did we? Shoot, I got up and I was eating a yummy snack, and apparently my brain just... well, we'll look at it in a little bit here anyway. Long, heavy talking... Oh, it was a deep episode. Someone having a moral crisis or a conundrum. All right, so our background feature could be ship's passage. Could be. And this allows us, we could snag a ride on our boat or on many other boats. We still have to wait for, things to happen. We might even have to work our way to pay our passage. But this is allowing for reliable, well, not depends on the winds, right? For travel. Or we may select bad reputation instead. And if we do, then what that means is we have a reputation in the area, whether it's deserved or not, that people don't want to mess with us. Our alignment's neutral. It doesn't mean that we haven't killed someone before. Maybe we have. Or maybe we're just really passive. But because of our foreign physique, not just a Dragonborn, but a void Dragonborn, maybe people just kind of steer clear, and we've had legends brew up around the bay about us. And so if we walk into a restaurant, someone's going to buy us a beer because they don't want bad luck or something along those lines. And so he rolls with it. He knows he's not bad. He enjoys it. And maybe instead he spends the money on, buying someone else a drink later or donating it to an orphanage or something. Not necessarily out of a moral obligation, but he was going to spend the money anyway, so why not? Tesla says, I want to complain about the game awards, but Sekiro was my favorite game of the year. Ace Combat 7 was robbed. Oh, it was the gold whistle. Thank you, Van. Thank you. It was gold-colored wood. Some lore dumps and connections to the previous campaign, says Kitty Bird. Oh. When you say favorite game of the year, is there not... Well, I guess what, in other kind of self-congratulatory awards, it's, the best action movie, the best horror movie, or whatever. So Sekiro won, you said it was one of the favorite games of the year, or one of your games of the year? So was it like the action game of the year, or something like that, Tesla? So yeah, let's decide if he's going to take ship's passage or bad reputation after we get to know him through his personality. My favorite game at one, but you still want to, yeah, what? Complaining is an excellent spectator sport. All right, now let's meet our character. What's his personality like? We rolled number 3 for his first personality trait. I enjoy sailing into new ports and making new friends over a flagon of ale. And his second personality trait is number 2. I work hard so that I can play hard when the work is done. Clearly, he has a bad reputation. A character like that could be interesting if he's actually not a bad guy, but everyone treats him like some, like a ghost is walking among them, or some sort of like an unlucky taboo is walking around. His ideal is number 5. People. I'm committed to my crewmates, not to ideals. So he doesn't have a personal ideal. He wants to help people. He wants to just help others to live, to travel, to enjoy life, to get their spices into port on time, to see the world. All the more reason we should give him bad reputation. All right, what's his bond to the world? What would make his player, right, his pilot, really invested in the world in which all this is taking place? Number 3. I'll always remember my first ship. Well, what happened to the first ship? Is it still sailing? Is it under new ownership? Did it sink? Did it sink and then was raised back up under new ownership? Are we actually just freshly off of our first ship and now we're onto our second? Or was our first ship, the first notch in the belt and, Sounds like a gruff guy with a heart of gold. I agree, Chaotic Blue. Big burly sailor, has traveled the world, kind of sun-baked scales, has this voidal complexion. So, like, you know, there's black Dragonborns, right? We're talking, like, you know, this is even, you know, like, maybe even, like, black, hollow-looking eyes, like tiefling eyes or insect eyes. And we're talking, like, like not just black, but, like, Vanta black, right? If any of you are familiar with that color, Vanta black. Just, it's this something. Or if it's a void, maybe we could even say that new scales growing under old scales could have an iridescence. And so anytime there's like a patch of scales that have fallen out or have been sunbaked or you know, he's recovering from an injury, he actually has kind of like a dark scintillating pattern on the scales around the matte black scales. Maybe his bad reputation has to do with what happened on the ship, or he could be flaky and hop cruise a lot. He does enjoy sailing into new ports. Kevin knows what Vanta Black is. Tesla says, but maybe where his bad reputation comes from is that it's always different people all the time. Different people on the same ship, or I'm not sure if I got the reference there, Tesla. Blocks, welcome. Character creation. I dropped in at a good time. Yes, we have done our random generation. Welcome, thank you, Blocks. We have done our random character generation using our methodology here. And now we are filling in the character. We're exploring his personality first. When we make characters on the stream, we start with their backgrounds first. Being that it's bonds, the memories from the first ship don't have to be all good. That is true. Something bad could have happened. Maybe that's where he experienced, you know, his first outbreak of everyone thinking that he's unlucky or unwelcome, no matter how hard he worked. Being a void Dragonborn, just, it didn't sit well with the other sailors. Now, what is his flaw? We are all flawed creatures, my friends, and if you don't think that you are, congratulations, we found your flaw. Haha, I win. His flaw is number 4. Once I start drinking, and we can even put drinking in brackets. It doesn't have to be drinking. It can. But once I start drinking or something, it's hard for me to stop. This could be something, it could be laughing. It could be, you know, laughing or hiccuping. Might end up making, like, a Dragonborn that has the hiccups, especially on a ship, could be terrifying. Whoops, every time I hiccup, I have a little bit of chlorine gas seeping out. Or I have a little bit of flames licking through my teeth. Or in the case of our Void Dragonborn, he has a hiccup and it shoots a little like BB's worth of force damage into the mast. Can't stop laughing. It makes it, you know, it might annoy people. It might make it difficult for people to, you know, they're on a sneaking mission onto an island to resupply, and he thinks of something funny, and suddenly, you know, it's a raucous laughter, and that could be his flaw. Drinking can be eating. Drinking can be gambling. Drinking can be... I mean, he does, it does say he enjoys sailing to new ports and making new friends over a flag and a veil. Making new friends could be a euphemism for once I start enjoying pleasures of the flesh, it's hard for me to stop. You know, there's a lot of things that we can work in here. And flaws are amazing parts of characters, and all your characters should have a flaw. Maybe 2. Personal recommendation. Yep, blocks. Something starts small, eventually it becomes a big problem. Alright, so... are we agreed that he'd actually have the bad reputation background feature, even though he hasn't, even though he hasn't earned it by being a bad guy, just everyone thinks that he is, because of how different he is? Honestly, I could go with either. He has been on a lot of ships, he's seen a lot of things in his old age. Remember, he's venerable, he's 76. This is probably his last adventure, whether he wants it to be or not. So which background feature do you think would fit him better? Bad reputation, where everyone around him thinks that he's bad luck and they'll buy him a beer. He doesn't even have to ask for anything because they don't want any bad luck. Or has he just been on ships and everyone knows him, and they might have an initial reservation, but he can always call in a favor for ship's passage? Kevin says, having a bad rep, it doesn't mean it's true, but it could be. Kitty Bird says, my barbarian constantly picks up small things that sometimes breaks them accidentally. Oh, yeah, that's a fun one. Lunoir, ow. I like to imagine him being the reason for his first ship sinking, losing control over his breath weapon and destroying the ship with acid, that way getting his bad reputation. He could have started out as a young, young sailor. Maybe he was cast out because he was born differently. He's a void dragonborn. Not even a black dragonborn, a void dragonborn. And he was getting his powers this is the running theme for all our characters. They're born with these psionic powers. And through his psionic powers and the fact that he has this force breath, he could, that could have been the case. Lunoir, you have a great idea. And Demon Quiller, welcome back. Great to see you. All right, so we're going to give him a bad reputation. In parentheses, even if it's unearned. Maybe then all the jobs he could get were shady, so that increases bad rep. Ah, okay. So he'd be kind of like, why am I forgetting? Andre the Giant's character from Princess Bride. He's not a bad guy. He just hangs out with a bit of a jerk, doing those, doing that, the bad guy things, even though he's not really bad himself. Maybe as a twist, the guy destroyed his first ship, not by accident, but because it's what all the people there deserved. He started out as a cabin boy, and maybe, the crew or captain got some ideas he didn't like, and that's when the Soulknife manifested, let alone his force breath. Fezzik, thank you. Thank you, Kitty Bird. In with the assist. Block says, bouncing off of Lunoir OW's idea, maybe his intentions are good, but being a Dragonborn trying to fit in, it's hard. And that's probably why he just has to maintain his personality, right? His alignment is neutral, true neutral. And here on this channel, I do not have characters abide by their alignment like that's the bottleneck that everything has to pass through. Your alignment is how you express yourself. It is what happens after your brain to mouth filter or brain to hand. And so he can have good ideals. He could do bad guy stuff. And it doesn't have to be, karmic 1-for-1, where we blow up Megaton, but then we give 3 bottles of distilled water to a vagrant, and suddenly our karma's back to neutral. Going to bed, Van? Have a good night, Van. Thank you for joining us. I hope your computer is okay. And hopefully we'll see you back for tomorrow's Psionic Wizard character creation. He's totally not a Princess Bride fan, both the film and the book. Says Kitty Bird. I mean, I'm a fan too, even though I forgot the name Fezzik. So we have our background. We know who our character is, and this is important. At this moment, with all the information we have a character. And for those of you who are new here, you'll notice, look, yellow, 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 yellow. There's no scores. There's no ability scores. Don't tell anyone. Ability scores don't really mean a lot to who the character is. The ability scores are going to follow suit to everything we're growing from our character. Why he makes decisions. What is his lifestyle? His scores will reflect it. The scores are like the last thing we're going to put on this character. All right? It is not complicated. Actually, I would argue that this actually, because of the way it splits things out, it makes things simpler on a character sheet, blocks. Has a lot of really relevant information all here. Don't move. There's the entirety. If you join our Discord, you can actually find this sheet on our workshop channel, because the content we make in the workshop gets uploaded there for you to download for free. You could download if you like a character that we make, download the PDF. Have fun with it, adjust it, or clear it out and save the blank sheet for yourself. The spreadsheet that you see here is not publicly available, but the spreadsheet that came before this, that was used as the basis for this, is as a pinned message in Table Talk, which is the general talk section of the Discord. Rains, welcome, thank you. You have to go have fun. Greenwald, thank you for joining us, and I hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen in our workshop as well. All right, now that we know who our character is, his life, everything he's experienced, now we're going to go back and find out who he is as a Dragonborn. All right, as a Dragonborn. Although, real quick, I want to check something out here. What is the... Ah, yes, so this is another quote. This is a great series, by the way, by Aaron M. Evans. It's called the Brimstone Angel. The Brimstone Angel series. I would suggest y'all check it out. You've never heard that pronunciation? The Dragonborns! Our strength score increases by 2, and our charisma goes up by 1. So, floating a 2 in charisma here, floating a 1 in strength. Oh, I'm sorry. 2 in strength, 1 in charisma. Our speed is 30 feet, giving us 15 climb, 15 swim, 0 fly. We have Draconic Ancestry. Of Draconic Ancestry, choose one type of Durgan from the Draconic Ancestry table. Now, we rolled Other, so it wasn't one of the traditional 10. And it was chosen to be a Void Dragonborn. And so I have that listed up here, and that's going to be our ancestry that is going to reflect with our breath weapon, which we're going to get. So we have a breath weapon, which is going to be by level 18, 5d6 force damage. This is also going to need to be a... Let's see, Dex save or Con save. Con is poison and cold. Void was an aspect of gravity that we were reflavoring as force damage. So we might even go a little bit. We might even go a little bit more fun, and maybe go a strength save if we're talking that force is kind of like gravity damage. Strength save DC whatever for half. Yep, level 18. Just noticed that he's wearing a veteran boy. As in the, are you talking the character? The character art here? We're going to get resistance to force damage. And we're going to be able to speak, read, and write Common and Draconic. Congratulations, we're a Dragonborn. Why start with this? Come on, Player's Handbook. This doesn't tell us a lot about our character. This is a couple sparkly goodies, which are fine. They're fine. This doesn't tell us about our character. What we did first told us about our character. All right, now that rant is over, we're going to go down and we are going to tack on 18 levels of Rogue. We're not adding the subclass. This is pure Michigan. I mean, pure Rogue. Rogues are D8 hit die classes, and we're level 18, so it so happens we have 18 D8 hit die that we can spend on rests to naturally recover hit points without potions or spells that are needed. We are proficient in light armor, and for weapons, I'm simply writing rogue weapons, as that is a curated list, and I don't want to write them all out. It's a reference, back for you. I'm doing it for you, everyone. We are proficient with thieves' tools as well. Next up, we are going to get proficiency in intelligence and dexterity saving throws. And we're going to get to choose 4 skills. Choose 4 from acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot. Again, why don't we have our background first? Our background is our hobby, our first job. It's what we did while we were younger. It's what we're still doing before we go on an adventure. Let's look at his background and let's have this choose our skills for us. A lot of you out there might play at a table where someone says, well, someone's got to take perception. Now, his background gave him perception, so there's that. Or someone says, well, did anyone take athletics? I guess I'll take athletics because no one else did. I'm not. You can make characters like that. It's not that you can't. But the characters that we bring to life here, they're organic, they're wholesome. You know, their skills reflect who they are and their lifestyles. And I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with having people with repetition and proficiencies and skills. So let's see. I enjoy sailing into new ports and making new friends over a flag and a veil. That could very well be persuasion. Yeah. I work hard so that I can play hard when the work is done. Acrobatics, athletics. Do we juggle on the side? Do we race? Do we climb? What, again, ask our questions. What is playing hard? What is playing hard to us? How would that reflect in perhaps a skill proficiency? People. I'm committed to my crewmates, not to my ideals. Persuasion still? Good case for persuasion. Insight. I want to read people. I want people to be happy. Insight can help with that. I'll always remember my first ship. Well, something like history isn't available. Not that you can't have that conversation with your dungeon master and ask for it. If we're going off what is just here, we could end up going with perhaps investigation. What happened to our last ship? Maybe we want to find it. We remember it, but we never know. What port is it in? Who's the captain now? Is it sailing or did it sink? I know we're talking about it sinking above. These are the prompts, though, to ask yourself that are going to help you get these, choose these skills. And you're going to play to those skills expertly because it's baked into your character. It wasn't just tacked on. Coffee Cat, you're going to bed. All right, Coffee. Congratulations on your polls. Those were 2 really good ones. Have a great night, and thank you again for the art from earlier. Or counter investigation, clarifies Tesla. And once I start something, drinking, could be drinking. Once I start drinking, it's hard for me to stop. Ooh. If we need to, could that be performance? If we need to put on a show that, oh, I'm so drunk, like maybe we know we need to go home, but we totally got roped into a drinking contest again. That could be performance. So too could making friends in port. You sing MIDI night. Thank you for the follow and welcome. Welcome aboard. singing a rousing sea shanty, a drinking song, can also be a way to make friends, and performance absolutely leans into that. When we get 4. So I think persuasion, I think performance makes sense. And maybe we have athletics. If he's done some tumbling in his day, acrobatics maybe. I'm committed to my crewmates, so I don't know. We can go with that insight. And investigation could still be a part of it too. He might have a keen mind. You know, look, he's lived for 76 years. He's put a couple things together in his day. Block says, thank you for your awesome support to our channel. This is the first time I've attended one of your streams. I regret not attending more in the past. Here's my promise to follow more content. Hey, thank you, Blocks. And, oh my goodness, and you subscribed as well. Blocks, my commitment back is I will earn any business follows, lurking, subscriptions at any level. I promise you're gonna get at least $5 a month out of me. I promise. All right. But Blocks, I want to earn that business. I continually strive to do so. And if you ever feel like I haven't earned your subscription, pull it. I mean, even let me know. Be like, yeah, I was kind of let down. It's whatever, and there we go. And you know what? I'll take the feedback and I'll work to improve. Continual improvement. Management by walking around. So thank you very much. And Blocks, while we had our boxes of miniatures raffle giveaway yesterday on Wednesday, know that for all of you that subscribe, that money is turned around and it buys boxes of minis out of my inventory to give out to people in the channel with free shipping to a U.S. address. And it's completely based on the number of subscribers. And so, I mean, I'm thanking you, but whoever wins a box of miniatures in January is also going to be thanking you, Blocks. All right, so there's our skills. Starting equipment, I'm not worried about it. It's a level 18 character. We probably don't have a rapier anymore, or if we do, it might be magical. It might no longer be our starting one. Who knows? Okay, now what I'm going to do, it's going to save a little bit of time. I'm going to copy the class skills from our other rogue here into our second one. And the reason for this is because you can read all of this in an SRD or in the player's handbook. This is putting the rogue in the rogue class, all right? It's a part of him. It shows that, you know, he's good at, you know, avoiding danger, you know, in various manifestations, which, by the way, is going to give him a wisdom proficiency here. And if we're going to be exploring the Soulknife, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about what is evasion. You can read what evasion is. It's on page 96 of the player's handbook in case you want to know. Now, something that we are going to be able to pick out, though, is we get expertise in 4 skills or 3 skills in Thieves' Tools. I don't think he's really the thieving type. He probably, you know, picked up the tools along the way as something to do. Maybe as a way to almost like tinker or do things like this. You know, maybe some simple stuff. I think he's going to go all 4 skills in something. And given how social he is, he loves making new friends. He works hard so he can play hard. I would think that if he's playing hard, let's give him athletics. Let's give him persuasion. Let's give him performance even. And what else? I don't think it'll be perception. He has it because he's been trained. I don't think he has expertise in that, though. You know, I'm committed to my crewmates. I'll always remember my first ship. I enjoy sailing to new ports, and I work hard so I can play hard. I kind of think he is much more of a people person. I think insight would be good for him. Maybe he picked it up sneaking out as a little crewmate to get drunk. Oh, so they threw him in the brig to keep him under control when he was a young sailor. Lunoir. Am I pronouncing that correctly, by the way? Is it Lunoir? Just don't make me, like, stub my toe, please, on my desk, because I don't want to keep saying, ow! But yeah, maybe he picked up how to get through simple locks. I like that origin story. You are, no worries? Okay, good. Short bow, short bow, short bow. Survived because he grew municipal weed. So he was cultivating herbal intoxicants aboard a sailing vessel. It was a non-nuclear vessel, however. Now we're going to go into... we have our expertise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's explore the Soulknife one more time. Let's drive it home. A Soulknife possesses powerful psionic potential. They channel this reservoir of inner magic into tangible blades of psychic energy, striking at their victims' minds. They find easy employment as members of thieves' guilds, being particularly sought after as assassins, since their signature psychic blades leave behind no visible wounds. As a Soulknife, your psionic abilities might have haunted you since you were a child, only revealing their potential when your psychic knives first appeared. Or, you might have sought out a reclusive order of psionic assassins and spent years learning how to manifest your deadly blades. What if he's a pirate in secret? He could have even been piratical in his youth. Syart, he's 76. If you don't think he started out maybe being on a rough and tumble ship, probably getting into some combat and, a little slap and tickle of the wenches, kind of a thing. He might have done that in his youth, and he's since mellowed out. Maybe he's had regrets. He's done a pilgrimage to find himself. Nothing says that he couldn't. He's got some stories. That's right, Caddick Blue. Maximum skills in counter investigation. No one figured it out. So he is going to manifest... he is going to manifest a psychic blade. As a bonus action, you can create a magical blade of shimmering psychic power from one or both of your hands. While one of your hands is manifesting a blade, you can't hold anything in that hand. You can dismiss one or both blades at any time, no action required, and they disappear if you're incapacitated. The blade is a simple melee weapon with the finesse, light, and thrown properties. It has a normal range of 30 feet and a long range of 60 feet, and it deals 1d6 psychic damage on a hit. If you throw the blade as part of an attack, it vanishes immediately after it hits or misses its target. The blade otherwise disappears the instant it leaves your hand. So we have Psychic Blade, and I mean, really, that's what all we got to write down. In fact, this could even just be a weapon entry, if you think about it. All right, next up is a psionic enhancement. Actually, it's not it's you get your choice. Psionic enhancement. You can focus your psionic power to give yourself an extraordinary ability. When you finish a long rest, you gain one of the following benefits of your choice, which lasts until you finish a long rest. You can communicate telepathically with any creature you can see within 30 feet of you. If a creature can speak at least one language, it can respond to you telepathically. Increase your walking speed by 5 feet, or your hit point maximum and your current hit points increase by an amount equal to your intelligence modifier plus your rogue level. Sitting on a fat stack of hit points if we choose that. That being said, I'm not going to presume which one we have. And so I'm not going to modify hit points or speed. Well, I guess we could say it's this one, but you have the ability anytime you wake up in the morning. Oh, I want what, like 23 more hit points today. I want to move more quickly today. Next up, we get Terrifying Blade. Your psychic blades can now stoke terror within a target. When you damage a creature with your psychic blade, you can force the target to make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is frightened of you until the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the creature isn't frightened and is immune to your terrifying blade for 24 hours. Again, this probably doesn't help our bad reputation. If someone upsets us and we give them a little psychic poke and suddenly they're like, they run away frightened. Though this is a very interesting ability. The frightened condition does a lot of cool things in combat. At the same time, there's also a lot of resistances and immunities to frightened. So, you know, I don't think that this is an overpowered feature, especially at level 9. And, you know, it's always on. So that's cool. It's not technically a magical effect. Remember this, in this supplement, psionics do not say spell nor magic anywhere in there. They're presumably their own thing, meaning they can also presumably function in a wild magic or anti-magic field. They cannot be dispelled or countered. And so they're their own creature, which is also a strength in its own way. So that's Terrifying Blade. Next is Psychic Veil. You can weave a veil of psionic static to mask your physical presence. As an action, you can magically become invisible, or invisible if you choose, along with anything you're wearing or carrying for 10 minutes. This invisibility ends if you make an attack or if you force a creature to make a saving throw. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier minimum once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And so this is going to be int per long rest. Then lastly, we're going to get Rend Mind. You can sweep your psychic blade directly through a creature's mind. As an action, while you have at least one psychic blade manifested, you can force a creature you can see within 30 feet of you to make an intelligence saving throw. There's the DC. If you're hidden from the target, it has advantage on the save. It has disadvantage on the save, so you can combo that with your invisibility. On a failed save, the target takes 12d6 psychic damage. And it's stunned until the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and isn't stunned. One of your psychic blades vanishes after using this feature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. 17th level, your epic level. Remember, 5th edition D&D, 17 through 20 are your epic levels. Yeah, psionics are similar to key abilities. You are correct, Blocks. You don't have to trust this character, Psyart. He has a bad reputation for a reason. Yeah, and you know, Blocks, no one knows how you died. It's not even the old pierced by an icicle because the evidence melts afterwards. This is not leaving, you know, psychic damage doesn't, you could flavor it like it's liquefying your brain or it gives you a nosebleeds or something. Psychic damage is just like disrupting your neurological pathways. It's sort of like turning your brain off. And that's scary if you think about it. Tesla said, oh, what if that's why he remembers his first ship? Is when he betrayed them to a crew of pirates. Oh, maybe the pirates wanted it. So what if he did a bad thing for a good reason and he was a kid and didn't know it? What if he betrayed the crew to the pirates because the pirates didn't care that he was a void dragonborn? They were going to treat him like another pirate, like one of them. You know, even like give him things, not like gold. Of course they'd give him gold, but they'd give him precious treasure like, I don't know, dignity, recognition for being a human. Well, not a human being, but you get what I'm saying. And that could have been the tipping point. And then, of course, you know, as he aged, he probably grew out of his pirate phase. Kind of a Tom Sawyer thing, right? So here we go. We have... Look, we have a character, and there are no numbers on the sheet. Yet, can all of you out there imagine this character? How does he speak? How does he act? How does he make decisions? How does he attack? Can you imagine him drinking at a port and making friends with people? But when someone gets on his bad side, all he has to do is like shoot him a glare, and then their brains just get severed. You're very welcome. Look, blocks. Anyone can sleep at night. That's pleb tier stuff. Not sleeping at night. That, my friend, is bliss. It's not, actually. Please sleep. Blocks, Tuesday through Saturday, starting around 11 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesday is an ongoing campaign with members of the community. I practice what I preach. I'm a DM. I'm running a Dungeons and Dragons game, and you can see that I'm not full of stuff. You know, as I lecture Wednesday through Saturday in our workshop. But you can also find the schedule on our Discord. There's an area that has a little trumpet that says broadcasting. And you can see what I'm up to that week. So now that we have all this, now let's let the scores reflect who our character is. What is he good at doing? Look, I mean, he's been around. He might not have a lot of strength. He might not. We could probably drop that 8 in strength. You know, it might have diminished. Now, that Dragonborn strength is still there, underlying it. But I think, you know, we have an older guy. He's been around. I think we're going to have something like... he's going to know how to use his psychic, you know, flicks. He's not strong, but he still has, you know, that motion in his wrist. Intelligence, wisdom, charisma. He is a very mental rogue. Now you'll see here also that we, in our other rogue, we gave her physical stats. This is turning out to be more of a boop boop. I've been around. I've seen things. I'm 76. If I had a tail, I'd be one tail in the grave. That's going to put our constitution at 10, and then, of course, 8 is our strength. This is going to put his charisma to a 13. This is going to put his strength to a 10. And now, because we didn't roll that we're taking feats, we're going to get to add a certain number of points to his ability scores. At level 4, 8, 12, and 16, and he's a rogue, so level 10, we get to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points to his stats. And I think I know where I'm going to begin with this. We're going to put his charisma and his wisdom up to a 14 each. I think we need to increase his intelligence to a 16. He's seen things. That's going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to give us 6 points. Now, if we want, we can bring up dexterity by 3. Let's go to an 18. 1, 2, 3. We've seen things. We've learned things. Let's put our intelligence up to an 18. Oh, snap. We're floating 1 point. What the heck do I do with that? Well, remember, he does get another ASI at level 19, which, I don't know, maybe you want to give him a feat, and that would round something up, because some feats give you 1 point. Or, if you say, no, I want to bring Dex up to 20 with it, and I'm happy keeping Intelligence at 18, here's a fun trick. I say it every time. You see this 1 point? Let's get mechanical benefit out of it. By putting 1 point on our strength score, we can now push, pull, carry, drag, lift. Our encumbrance increases by that 1 point, even though our modifier doesn't go up. So it's not a waste. This is going to give us a 0 mod in strength, 4 dex, 0 con, 4 int, 2 wisdom, 2 charisma. And at level 18, we have a +6 to our proficiency. All right, our strength saving throw is 0. Our athletics, though, is going to be at 12. Old man strength. How about that, huh? Dexterity is going to be at 10 on the save and 4 in everything else. Also, don't forget you get reliable talents, so ooh-wee. Constitution saving throw is a 0. Intelligence saving throw. Intelligence saving throw is 10 with investigation 10. Everything else is 4. Wisdom is going to be an 8. Perception's an 8. However, insight is going to be 14 because of expertise. Then charisma down the line is 2, with performance and persuasion being expertise also being 14 and 14. Now, if you wanted to say he's hale and hearty because he's 76 and a sailor, you could probably swap out charisma. There's no shame in that. If you wanted to give charisma the 14 and the 10 in the 10 in charisma, I could see that happening. It would make your breath weapon a little bit better, and it could still be explained why you're still alive as a sailor at 76 on a non-long-lived race like the Dragonborn. It's up to you, but let's roll with what we have here. This is going to put our saving throw, though, against our breath weapon at 14. Now, our passive perception is going to be 18, as that's 10 plus your perception modifier, and that represents just your natural awareness. It saves you so many dice rolls at the table. It's amazing. Passives on history checks, passive insight, passive investigation, passive arcana. There's just a level of knowledge you always carry. Have fun with it. Our initiative is a dex check, so it's a +4. We have 0 dark vision, and for armor class, I don't know. X. Who knows what a level 18 rogue is going to have for AC, especially if we didn't even put starting equipment on him. Now, current hit points, we start with 8, as that is the maximum hit die at first level. Our remaining 17 of our 18 levels are going to be half +1 of our hit die, and then for all 18 levels, we're going to get bonus hit points equal to our Constitution modifier. Now, in this build, if you choose to change it yourself after downloading them, that's fine. In this build, that gets wiped out. And then we come back over here, and this goes to 85 plus 8, and we have 93 hit points. If we're attacking with a strength-based weapon or a dex, strength is going to be at a +6, dex is going to be at a +10. To save against our intelligence attacks, or our psionics, that is based off int, so that's 4 plus proficiency, which is 10, and then you add that static 8, which is added to all difficulty classes. So it's an 18 to resist. This is going to mean that we can use our Psychic Veil 4 times per long rest, as well as our Rend Mind 4 times per long rest. And so, my friends, we have made our second Soulknife character. He has earned a name, of course, so if you have name suggestions, throw them out there. But we did it. Amazing work, and I hope that you love the process. Look, all this math stuff that we tend to focus on in D&D, this was the last 10 minutes? The last 10 minutes of character creation? And it was casual, because all of it is reflecting who we now know our character to be. It's a beautiful system. It works so well. Trying to catch up in chat here. Works hard to work harder, says Tesla. I feel like he'd hunt whales or exotic sea creatures. Not a killer for hire type, unless he hunts pirates now. He might. Maybe he's a captain of a ship and he's a privateer. You what? So where did that name come from? I'm trying to put it together. Like, what did you look around and you know and get you know, was it like, do you want to name him Rosu? Rosu Garze? Garze? Is his name Rosu Garze? Is his name Olok Irach? He's draconic. Irach might be a family name. Oh, the last thing, by the way, we have to check out the trinket. What is his lucky charm that's helped him live so long to this point? 47 was rolled, and this trinket is a metal can that has no opening, but sounds as if it is filled with liquid, sand, spiders specifically, or broken glass. Your choice. Again, is this our focus? Was this given to us? Does this help us manifest our power? Is this trinket, this something that seems so mundane yet is so relevant? Does he socialize with this? You know, he shakes it around. And he has people guess what's inside. Oh, that sounds like glass. I'll bet 5 gold that's glass in there. Now it has no opening. Like, oh, all right, you heard it. And then shink, shink, shink. And it sounds like a can full of spiders. Oh, spiders again. I should have guessed spiders. You never hear them crawling, though. Stormy something, probably a nickname. Block says, hey, I have to go over some footage, but I just wanted to say, Maddie, because of your raid recently, you got our channel the achievement of 50 viewers. We owe it completely to you. I hope we can support you as much as you have us. Have a good night. Be well. Please extend my well wishes to all the rest of your tabletop crew. You know, y'all are fun. You put a lot of yourselves into the game, which I absolutely love. And I'm happy to raid back and forth, share communities, and to help. Let's use a nautical term. A rising tide lifts all ships, my friend. Sounds like a baby's rattle. Yep, demon. A small play on Knewt, threw sin in there. All right, so we're gonna go for Knewt, Sinesinothar. And here, and by the way, speaking of raids, it is 3 a.m. and I actually need to get going to bed. I had a very long day today. I have to do a faceplant into a pillow. With this, I want to thank you all. And let's find someone to raid.